It's Chad Kroeger.
Chad Kroeger.
I'm through with standing in line because I'll never get it.
Tell me what you want. Don't worry, we won't get a copyright strike for that or anything.
What's the line? He talks about, repeats like a food or something. He's like,
all I know is I want a bathroom big enough I can play baseball in.
So no, the repeating. You know how like that guy repeats. There's like a voice that repeats.
Something about a chili dog. Is that it? Is that what it is?
What?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know something about. I know what you're talking about. He repeats like some sort of food, right?
Yeah, and it's like ha ha. He does that after. It's like yeah, he does that.
Well, it's funny because that's the guy from ZZ Top or whatever.
Is it?
Yeah.
I need a. I can't remember. It's gonna drive me nuts now.
It's
like quesadilla. Something about a
quesadilla. A quesadilla. Yeah. Why?
Because it's the best song ever made.
Why
by the best
are
man.
we lucky enough to be graced by the presence of Chad Kroeger?
Oh, Chad Kroeger and Nickelback. Yes.
Okay. Do you know why everyone just makes fun of Nickelback?
It was just the cool thing.
I mean, it's funny because they had that song in Spider-Man 2, I believe.
Well, that was just Crad Choger.
Chad Kroeger.
Crad Choger.
Crad Choger.
Chad Kroeger and Saliva, the lead singer from Saliva. They had a collabo on that one.
Collabo?
So, yeah.
They called each other, hey, you want to do a collab?
Yes, I would like a collab with you, sir.
And so they came together for that one, but that wasn't actually Nickelback. Nickelback, that was kind of a side hustle for Chad Kroeger. I think what we need to have someday is another collabo of Chad Kroeger, Scott Stapp from Creed, and then Saliva. Just have like a.
What about Daughtry? Is
yeah.
Daughtry in there?
He's a little too mellow for them.
He's out there.
Yeah.
Didn't he come from American Idol?
Yeah, he was American Idol. The other ones, like Creed, is a Christian rock band.
Yeah.
Creed's the best.
6 feet from
Yeah.
Exactly. Boom. Perfect.
That's how you start.
Yeah, I mean that's basically yeah.
Episode 69.
What? Yeah, we're skipping all the episodes. You know how like they made Naked Gun 33 and a half or a third. We're skipping that. We're going straight to episode 69.
We're doing the Russian.
But the thing is, we're not going to release this until episode 69. So like we're going to be aged horribly.
I was gonna say because you do it like every 2 weeks. So
yeah, it's every 2 weeks until we get more like Patreon members of the JB Patreon to make
plug wink
wink.
So what would that be if I'm doing my math? 138 weeks from now. 69 times 2. Is that
so?
Correct?
What is that? A year and a fourth?
Is that math correct? I have no idea. I get nervous when I do math on microphone because I'm like, oh, I'm wrong.
Please spell.
That's not math. Yeah, I think that would be like about 2. Yeah, I think you're right because 52 that's 104
and then plus 17.
Yeah. So
wait, I was wrong though. I don't know. Now I
lost
69 times 2 would be 138, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, math. 138.
So,
yeah. So we're good. Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
I'm not doing math on microphone ever again.
Okay. Anyways, episode 7, 8, 9. I think we're on 9. Or let's say 9. Episode 9 of movies and nonsense.
Is there supposed to be a special intro every time like that?
I don't know, man. I don't even know if you're watching this.
Why?
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know.
You're like. They're like, all right, there's Jared, but who's his guest? Oh, the white balding guy from the SoCo Show.
Oh my gosh, it's Michael Chiklis. I loved you in Fantastic Four.
It's what would happen if Bruce Willis went wrong?
Oh man, no. Yeah, movies and nonsense. I don't know. Everyone's doing a podcast. I listened to like the TV or not the TV, the radio, and it was saying something about iHeartRadio. Like podcast is the #1 thing. Mm-hmm. iHeartRadio has over 1 million podcasts. I'm like, wow. So 2 people are listening to mine.
Well, I'm not saying people shouldn't listen to you specifically, but they see me. I'm an underwhelming guest. You get all these like big. YouTubers and all that stuff. You've had me on before, but as part of the team, it makes 2 of us for one
To
podcast
tango.
to be some sort of entertainment.
Yeah, this is the SoCo Show.
the solo movies
Yeah.
and nonsense.
Yeah, because you're from the collabo, the SoCo Show. You know,
Yes.
you have your own podcast, entertainment, nonsense. Well, I wouldn't say.
It's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense,
Yeah,
and there's sounders. It's
TVs
very
and-
highly
yeah.
produced show. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not yanking me dick. It's a very highly produced show.
It'd be a much different video. It probably wouldn't be on YouTube. It'd be on YouPorn instead.
Or RedTube, one of the two. Splooge.net.
Is that a real one?
.gov.biz.
Meatspin.
Yeah, Meatspin. The good old days.
No, I mean, yeah, Cody has put a lot of work into that stuff, but it's evolved over time. We talked about that on our other one, but yeah. So I would say it's more produced than a lot of podcasts, but it's also not listened to as many podcasts.
Yeah,
So-
people, go over there. Go in the description and click over there and listen to that stuff.
We have enough.
'cause,
We have all we need.
You guys cover. I mean, if you're a person that doesn't have enough time to like listen to a daily show, like you guys cover everything for the week. You're reviewing everything for the week. You know, movies, TV, video game. Well,
Yeah, sometimes.
video games has been slow recently. I don't
Yeah,
feel
it's
like there's
mostly just movies and TV. That's kind of what we stuck to lately, and then
well,
do
just
like our
news-wise
nonsense.
too. Yeah, news-wise, video games. There hasn't been much. I mean, we have the Video Game Awards coming up, which
we won't
the thing
cover
is
that.
though, a lot of games I noticed, specifically like Jedi Fallen Order, and I think even the Outer Worlds,
Yeah.
they're not qualified for the
Until next year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like they're not going to get
like the Emmy
nominated.
cutoffs,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're not going to get nominated because people are going to forget about those.
Well, yeah, I think next year it'll probably be Last of Us that sweeps up. Last
what
of Us
else
2.
even comes out next year?
I don't know, but I think that's the big one. That's going to be the one people, especially because it's a narrative single player,
Yeah.
almost like a movie. It's going to be on 2 discs instead of
Is
one.
it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You shitting me?
The story mode. It's just story. There's not even multiplayer. They're not even releasing multiplayer initially,
Okay.
and it's 2
Do
discs.
you think that will be DLC or a separate game entirely?
I think they said they're looking into doing multiplayer as a patch later.
Gotcha.
But just the single player story is 2 discs, and I don't know how long it's gonna be, but like it might take a lot just to put on those discs for the graphics.
Well, it
they're
makes
putting a lot of
sense
work
because
into it.
I have a feeling that will 100% be the first launch game for the PS5, won't it?
No, it's
No?
still PS4.
It is?
I could see them doing a remastered because they did the same thing. Because
It's hitting at that weird time.
Last of Us 1 was like one of the last games I played for PS3,
Mm-hmm.
and then shortly after, maybe it was a year after or so, they did a remastered version of it, and I played it again. One of the few games I played multiple times. I haven't done that for a lot, but yeah, that's going to be an interesting gameplay through if it's 2 discs.
2 discs?
I haven't seen something
Please
like
now
that
switch over.
since like Final Fantasy VII or whatever.
Yeah.
When you rent that from the video store, we're getting back. We had a video games conversation way
in
earlier.
our Patreon exclusive over on JB Patreon. Now
Subscribe.
Support at the $2 tier and get an exclusive episode
Yeah.
each month.
Exactly. But it was 2 discs then, discs. I think it was still discs, 2 or 3 discs. I remember getting a
Final Fantasy. It's
Yeah.
3.
I think it's 7, the one I got.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7
was 3 discs. Okay, I
Yeah,
think
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
7,
3.
8, and 9 were
Yeah.
3 discs, and then the X was finally over on PS2.
Okay. But yeah, I remember renting that, and I was like, why is there so many discs? And then
Mm-hmm.
I was terrible at it. I lost very quickly.
Surprisingly, those games I really enjoy. 7, my oldest brother would always play. 8, my buddy played a lot, so I was familiar with that. But X, like Final Fantasy X and X2, even though X2 is not that great because it's like
Yeah.
it diverts a bit because it's all I don't know. I liked it, but
Yeah.
those 2 games, love. Like
Yeah.
The bad thing is there's one trophy. I think it's a gold trophy. I have to dodge lightning 200 times. That's my white whale. I will never do it.
Great White Buffalo?
Yeah, basically.
Great.
I will never ever be able to finish that. But like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Final Fantasy games.
I've never been
role-playing
into the
bullshit.
turn-based stuff, but I did play Paper Mario to the end, the one where it's turn-based. That was fun.
Wait, was that the one that was on the Wii?
Yes. That was a blast.
That was yeah.
And there's a
I'll allow
bunch
it.
of secrets in that game. Like you'd have to go to a certain area and like shake the controller.
Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, I'd play with no pants on most of the time.
The Wii waggle.
I added that. I would whisper, be like, "Take your pants off and waggle."
What? Paper Mario? No, I won't do that.
It's me.
It's me, a Paper Mario.
So this show is starting off horribly. why don't we talk about some movies since we've done a lot of nonsense?
Well, it's only been,
much.
10 minutes or so.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
10 minutes? Well, we got to cut out the first 30 minutes or 30 seconds because
Yeah.
it was inappropriate.
Yeah.
We're going to just
It was
say
when I was
that.
still putting my pants back on.
Well,
so.
okay. I'm just gonna kind of say what we've been up to. I mean, this is gonna post a little bit later because the reviews for the movie we saw are gonna be on my channel and then obviously on your podcast. But surprise, like The Irishman was showing earlier, so we actually just got out of that 1 hour ago.
Ish, yeah.
And cool. Obviously, you can check out those reviews on a separate thing. We're not going to review it here, but I kind of wanted to talk about something because obviously that is hitting in theaters because it wants to be qualified for awards. It's very much a streaming,
Razzies.
Yeah, the Razzies and the People's Choice Awards.
Get me a surfboard.
Wait, do People's Choice
Choice.
Is People's Choice? Is that TV only?
What
What is
know.
the People's Choice Awards?
People choose things.
I want the Man Awards back, where they give you.
There's no way that's coming back in today's culture.
No, best. What was it? Wasn't there? Oh my gosh, that's what it was. I was listening to a podcast.
Had a strike of lightning at you.
I'm all over the place, but okay, the Man Awards. No, maybe it was. Oh, never mind. It was MTV Movie Awards.
Okay,
never mind.
Wait, what? Finish
Well, it
your
was
thought now.
1997.
Okay.
And
I picture a
there
fade
was
now.
a movie that cannot be made today. I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about it where apparently it's a movie with Kevin Kline and I don't know who the other person is, but he's like a teacher in college and he's a very good student, and then he comes out and says, "Oh yeah, like I'm so happy for everyone that supported me. By the way, my teacher's gay," and then just walks off the stage. And like the whole movie is about shaming this person for being who he is,
For being gay?
for being in the closet. And this was 1997, and apparently Kevin Kline, I think, kisses his student or another guy in the movie, and they won Best Kiss in 1997.
Really?
Yeah. Which
Nice.
progressive at that time, but
Yeah.
also you can't make that movie ever.
No. Well, I mean, they did recently do a young boy kissing another man a couple of years ago and Call Me By Your Name. That was
Yeah, but the whole movie wasn't about shaming someone.
No, but it was like he was way younger than him and like
Okay, I haven't seen that movie. Is he legal in that movie?
I don't think they explicitly say his age, but he's like lives with his parents and he's teen.
Maybe
So,
18 then?
Yeah, I don't remember. It's a good movie. I love it, but it was weird because he's much older.
Yeah.
Army Hammer.
Yeah, Army Hammer. We got off on a tangent about horrible award shows. But
That's the
no,
entire episode.
what I wanted to kind of touch on is, I mean, I'm not going to dive into how, like, Martin Scorsese was talking about how, like, certain movies aren't cinema and blockbusters and stuff. I just want to kind of talk about movie theaters in general and the way that they are now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's this whole thing where we're in this weird area or a circle almost that we know everything about movies that are coming out and we're in the know and we're seeing movies every single week. So movie theaters are almost like this happy place for us.
Yeah.
But for the casual fan, how many times, like, what do you think that they look at the movie theater like?
And a rare, like a treat or
Like,
a special night.
it's almost a luxury, right?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say luxury. It's just kind of like like I said, a treat where it's like one of those things where you do it every so often, and it's a cool, fun thing to do. Like you see something you normally wouldn't see, like a big blockbuster. Like I think that does give some sort of credence to Martin Scorsese's comments, but in terms of like that's what a lot is playing, and that's what a lot of people are going to because it is like seeing it on a big screen. Even the other night, I was thinking like. Seeing a movie on one of the big screens at a theater, like it's weird that we go to a place that this moving image is projected onto this giant wall, and it's cool. It's like a fun thing to see. It's like if you drag someone from 1885, excuse me, here and put them in this theater, they'd be like, "What the hell is this? How is this possible?" Like, it's a crazy thing, and it's cool. It's a fun way to watch, but it's not like necessarily like. I wouldn't say it's like too crazy of like a luxury, but it is a special.
It's
occurrence,
not
I think.
unattainable.
Right.
It's expensive.
People
for
do it as like
people.
to feel like, oh, this is a fun night out.
It's a
type
date
of-
night.
Exactly.
It's hey kids, let's go see a movie today. Because I mean, I wouldn't say that it's cheap,
No,
but then again, nothing in the world is cheap anymore.
you can go and make it cheap. Like certain times, like we've been talking about we go a lot of times early. I go
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday mornings when I can go for $6. But a lot of people think like, oh, I have to go on Saturday at 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Then it's 15, 12, whatever dollars.
And that's the thing is like when you're doing that, and plus like if you're going at those times, you think to yourself, oh man, I need to reserve my ticket prior, because you do. If you're going at those peak hours, you do. And then when you do that online and you're not a member of that theater, you're paying an extra $3 per ticket because of service fees, but you do secure your ticket. But like you're saying, if you're just taking 2 people to the theater, it's $15 a ticket.
Yeah.
And we live in a place where it's affordable.
Yeah.
Like if you were living in LA or
It's
New
20,
York
25.
or Texas, Florida, something bigger city, it's going to be a lot more expensive.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, maybe Omaha, Nebraska, booming.
Actually,
booming
Omaha probably has a little bit more expensive because they're the only. I think they're legally the only city in Nebraska that has a movie theater.
It's the only city in Nebraska that people live. It's the only city in Nebraska.
Otherwise, it's just land.
Yeah. Land as far as the eye can see.
They just call it land.
Land.
Everything around it is land, and then Omaha.
Nebraska land. But no, what I wanted to kind of say is not the fact that it's like unobtainable, but how do you get more people out there? Because obviously, what we just said is I wouldn't say it's a luxury, but it's one thing that you almost do every now and then, which ties into Martin Scorsese saying, "Oh, only MCU, these big blockbusters, people are going out to." And it's because they only have so much money that they can go out to.
Yeah.
How do you almost make it so it's a thing where, I don't know, people are more attracted to a theater?
Well, I think it's they've been doing that recently with introducing different gimmicks or upgrades, or like these. For example, where I live in Cedar Rapids, a couple years ago they added in the big giant screen and upgraded all to the luxury seats, like
recliners,
and you do the sound, like they added the Dolby Atmos sound and all that stuff, and then like when we were in Oregon, we went to that ScreenX thing. With all the screens.
That was a unique experience.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
really, really cool. And I think more of those, we'll see more of those. The IMAXs, I think 3D's kind of backing up a little bit, but I think more of those gimmicks or new ways to watch movies, they'll get people in. I think even just the seating, like I know at our theater, they took out seats because the new recliners are bigger. The new recliners probably take a seat and a half up of what the old seats were.
Oh yeah.
So I counted the other night because I was watching a terrible movie and I was like, I'm gonna count the seats in this theater instead, and I counted like 62 seats or something like that. And I know, and it's one of the smaller theaters, and I know like that screen before had 80. Like so I think that's a difference. Like making it more of an experience as opposed to like you're just coming to see a movie. Make it an experience, make it comfortable, make it just something to almost feel like a luxury, because even like our seats are called luxury loungers. So like that type of stuff.
And I think the ones at the theater we went to last night, they call it luxury recliners, or we try our new seats where blah blah blah. And the theater we went to last night, it has the reclining seats. That's basically almost standard now in theaters. The one that we've gone to the IMAX, I believe, once. They even have heated seats.
Yeah.
Like they have the seats that recline, and then the headrest moves, and it heats up too. So I mean, even going a step further for just the seats there.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing. I know people really enjoy those a lot more. Just talking to people who go casually. Yeah. Like my mom and I go to like the Avengers movies for her birthday, and the first time we went with the recliners when they put those in, she's like, "Oh, this is really cool." Like that's the type of stuff. She's not someone that goes to movies ever unless like I take her or whatever. But she's like, "I really like this. It makes it a lot better." So I think another thing too is like the promotion nights. Our $5 Tuesdays at our theater. Always sold out.
Yep.
No matter, like, it could be a brand new movie that comes out, like Spider-Man came out on a Tuesday. There was one other, Ready or Not, I think, came out on a Tuesday this year. Both completely packed shows.
Wait, so even opening night?
Yeah.
Wow, that's hard to come by, because all the theaters down here, if it's opening night, they do not honor the cheap night.
The only thing
movies.
The only thing they didn't honor was I went to Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and it was a Fathom event.
Well, and see, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's a Fathom.
But it was also because our IMAX, whatever it's called, Ultra Screen, but it's an IMAX essentially. It's normally $15 for that to go like a late show, 7 o'clock or whatever. The Spider-Man I went to, $5 for that too. So everything. The only thing that's upcharged is the 3D glasses. So Like that type of stuff, I know, like every time, like Ready or Not, I know didn't make a ton of money, but the night I went on a Tuesday, completely sold out. So like that's the type of stuff, and I think it's tough for theaters to do that. I was thinking about this too with like the math of it, because the theaters pay to put the movie in the you know, they get charged for that, and so you don't make your money back on a $5 night. But I think
you're hoping that people are buying concessions,
and I think that might. I honestly think we might see more, like maybe even ticket prices go down potentially. Like if we see, you know, some theaters start to like competition starts to decrease, theaters to get people in now might do more of these promotion nights and stuff to get concessions.
And like you're saying, this Tuesday night, that I feel like that's synonymous amongst all theaters now, where it's Tuesday night is. It used to be $5. I think it's about $6
it's still
now.
$5 at ours.
Okay.
They do $6 Thursdays at ours now for students.
Oh wow, that's nice. But that's definitely a night that I know a lot of people go to. Like you just said, a lot of people aren't aware that, hey, if you want to go to a movie and you're not a huge person that wants to see it on opening weekend, go Tuesday because it's super cheap. But also, I'm curious. I would love to see the analytics to be like, okay, if these people are paying essentially half price for their tickets, are they using that extra money to buy those concessions?
Yeah.
And they probably are.
I'm
someone that's not buying concessions, so they're very much losing money on me.
Yeah.
I feel like you and Cody buy concessions not regularly, but every now and then.
I get M&Ms usually almost every time.
Okay.
And then like sometimes like our theater has burgers. Delicious burgers.
Which you know what? That brings me to a whole nother thing is I know that a lot of theaters, there's 2 down here now specifically that strictly it's like you go, it's you sit down, you have your dinner, you have your drinks. It's made for that. You know, like people out there, it's basically it's called Flick's Brew House. I know Almo Draft House is essentially a chain that kind of does that too, and they were elite cutting edge. Those movie theaters I'll check every now and then. Those are packed every Thursday. Those are packed every night.
Yeah, and that's what ours started. That along with the renovations for new screens, they put in an entire bar. Like when you walk in, there's a bar to the right. Delicious drinks too. Like they make some really good ones, and not too bad at priced. And then they have like a full. It's called an express menu. So like there's some of our theater chain that has a full dine-in restaurant plus.
Yep.
But this one is an express. So you just go up to the concession and say, I'll take a double cheeseburger or whatever, and they have like burgers, pizza, nuggets, or chicken strips.
Kind of your typical, I wouldn't say concession stand food, but
and then they bring it to you. So at first they did those buzzers where you have to go get it, and now they bring it to you. So like they're
like when you're sitting in the theater. Oh wow,
yeah, you
that's
give them
nice.
your ticket stub and they bring it.
That's
and
nice.
So that type of stuff I think is more and more they have to add that. They have an arcade at our theater too, so like you have that aspect. I think it has to be an event. It has to feel more
more
like
than
luxury.
just watching a movie at home, because I personally don't feel like I deal with this. Maybe you do, but I know a lot of people are like, well, I have a big screen at home. I have surround sound. I have a 4K TV. I can watch all of this stuff on my own TV and essentially get, I guess they claim it's the same experience. I feel like being in a theater is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, like you said, it's almost, you have to do these, I wouldn't say over-the-top gimmicks or anything, but like attract people to the theater.
You definitely do. For me, watching a movie at home, I don't get the same feeling because certain times maybe, like if I have the right light, for me, watching a movie is about the right lighting, the right sound, and the right spot. And I just made it a science, which is sad.
It's true. It's funny because we were talking on the way to, I think, The Irishman, which we just saw.
Yeah.
You broke this down to me, and I'm like, you know where... I have a general area. I don't have a seat that I'm sitting in.
I have on my phone a list of theater seats by theater number, which ones I like to sit in. That's bad. That means I go too many times. But like for me, it has to be the right conditions. And sometimes at home, like if I'm home alone, if it's dark, like the perfect amount of light, and I have this perfect spot every time. My couch is set up perfectly where I want it.
Yeah.
But so if I have that. But also too, like if I'm tired, I'm gonna fall asleep at home. If my phone, if it's a certain amount of day and I'm getting like, I also like early morning movies. Like if I watch a movie early in the morning, I enjoy it more for whatever reason. Like I'm less tired, I'm more attentive or whatever. So certain conditions, yes, I don't mind watching them at home. But the theater for me is I'll always go. Like going to The Irishman, we could see this 6 days from now on Netflix. I'd rather go see it in the theater.
Well, and we were driving back from this movie, and I think I said to you, I may watch this later on, or I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much watching at home because for 3.5 hours, I'm going to check my phone. I'm going to use the restroom. I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to pause the movie at some point. This time, I think it's just the fact that like you're in this place. Because I didn't even think once to look at my phone at home. For some reason, I always think look at my phone.
No.
So that's what almost like. I almost force myself to go to the theater sometimes. I mean, believe me, I love seeing movies in the theater, but I think it's because it's this mindset. Everyone's supposed to be on this certain level of being quiet and attentive, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But everyone's almost, and it's just shared experience too, because for example, not just the blockbusters, but for some reason, let's say A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood that just came out. Watching that at home, I wouldn't get as emotional. Watching it in the theater and it's dark and you're with other people, I'm just wet, I'm just wet all over.
It's like a shower.
Yeah, just moist.
Of the golden variety.
Yeah, just sitting in just a wet seat.
No, same way. Like I don't know. Like I guess it depends also too, because like certain TV shows like This Is Us, I'll be the same way. But like movies, I think I'm more apt in the theater because like it's dark and no one can see me cry.
No one can see me cry in the dark.
But I also fall asleep pretty easily at the theater too. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at it, it is kind of almost this, I wouldn't say gimmick, but I do, when they first switched out the reclining chairs, I was very upset because one, they changed it to reserve seating, which I think is actually way better for everyone involved. But I was like, well, one of these recliners takes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many seats.
Usually, yeah.
So I'm like, well, that means that all of these theaters are going to be sold out, which it kind of was at first when I went. But then I think they, I don't know, maybe made more show times and stuff. But it's almost this thing where like, again, it's not a luxury, but it's, people aren't going to just a theater just to sit there and watch a movie. They want either an adult beverage, they want food, they want big sound, they want it to be almost, I wouldn't say a memory, but yeah, very much an experience that they can't get at home. And I mean, I think it's even more difficult because just the fact of me reviewing movies, I've been moving a little bit more towards streaming platforms. And I've noticed that those have gotten more traction.
Because most people want to stay home.
And I'm like, why? And then it clicked, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. And no one goes to the movies. I go to the movies all the time. There's no one sitting by me. That's why. Where are they watching their movies? At home.
And Netflix, and they pay $15 or $12. I pay $16 because the 4K.
You have 4K Netflix?
Yeah.
Damn, look at this high spender, people.
Because I bought the TV, and I was like, well, I need something to watch it on. But no, they spend the $12 once per month, and they can watch all these movies.
One person spends $12, and 27 people get to reap the benefits.
Right. And that's the thing. Maybe that's a good point too, because like, what if Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu start cracking down on that, and they figure out a technology, which they will, they probably already have one, where you have to be in the same household.
Almost, like an IP address or something of some sort.
But do people go to the theaters more again? Because maybe they don't want to buy and watch the crappy movies they're watching. Because a lot of the movies they watch are crappy, past-the-time movies. But, every once in a while they release a good one on Netflix. Like, maybe instead they go to the theater to watch, a $6 movie on a Saturday morning. I hope not, because that's when I'm going.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a weird thing that I'm glad we have in common. I love morning matinees, like a Saturday morning. And when you told me that your theater has as early as, 9 o'clock?
This weekend, because before I thought to come here, I was looking at a movie. They had 7:30 a.m. screenings, and I was like,
for what?
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I was very close. Like at one point, I was like debating. I was like, do I go? Do I?
I would have told me to fuck off and just gone to a 7:30 morning.
And then they had 22 Bridges at 8:30.
Dude, you could have knocked out like 2 movies by noon. Actually, 10 o'clock.
I've done 3 movies in a day where they started at, it was 9 o'clock. It was like 9, noon, and 3 or whatever.
Well, anything before 10 o'clock, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Because a lot of theaters, specifically the one in the mall, they don't have a showing. Their earliest is 10 o'clock because the mall.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the Flicks Brew House, they're leaning more towards the early, and I think the earliest ever, I went to Ford v Ferrari at 9:30, and it was awesome. Man. But at first, I was very excited because I was like, awesome, I've never been to one this early here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to order breakfast because I know they have a breakfast menu.
Oh, do they?
Ask the guy, they only have it on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I guess I'll have a pizza for breakfast. So
Do they do food then?
Yeah, they still do food.
Really?
And it was funny because I basically saw my future because there was 4 like 70-year-old men going into the theater before me. All had beers, all ordered food. And I was like,
beers?
I got a beer too. Because I saw them, I was like, I can't drink alone.
Yeah.
So at 9:30, I'm seeing Ford v Ferrari. I got a barbecue chicken pizza and I got a big beer. And I was like,
This is
sometimes
awesome.
I'm living the life, you know. But yeah, I very much want to try breakfast. But that's another thing. If they can, and it's probably not cost efficient because how many people are going that early to a movie?
Not many. I mean, it's
But
mostly old
if
people.
they started doing it more,
I don't know. I don't think it's worth hiring someone to work that time and have someone there because I think they always
I
have
mean,
to
for
have.
my pleasure, it is.
Yeah, right. I think they have to have like a manager there to be able to
Have everything
fix,
going.
Yeah, fix. So, and that's probably expensive. But yeah, I know. Thinking about like other, because part of the reason I think people don't go too though is that there is a lot of distractions at the theater. There is talking.
I'm
there
glad
is
you're bringing this
texting,
up.
There's people on their phones. I get furious. I've talked about this on the SoCo Show a lot. I get so mad at people in the theater.
Oh, please, this is your platform, sir.
But so like, especially with like talking, like what my thought, we talked about this in the car, but what if they came up with stuff to like, one, I think they should have someone in the theater, like someone from the theater, movie theater. I know it's a lot for a lot of screens.
Yeah.
But like, or just come in and out.
Like a
because
theater bouncer.
Anyone, you should have maybe at minimum have like a button on your
and
armrest.
then you can click it,
And it
yeah.
has like a talk, like a mouth for talking or like a phone for texting or something. And you can come and like, hey, what's going on?
Wow, that is actually a good idea because I mean, all these new recliners, just put a button on.
Yeah,
it and
the only
it pops
thought
up.
is like you accidentally bump it and then someone comes,
Yeah.
and interrupts the movie. But they got these people like ninjas now coming in and out of the theater. So like the people who serve stuff.
Well,
so.
I mean, for example, every theater is completely different, but I definitely agree that I think that that's a problem too. Is so many people are used to streaming platforms, watching these movies at home.
Yeah.
That boom, you can just flip out your
On your phone, yeah.
If you're bored, you flip your phone out. Everyone's addicted to their phone. Personally, I am too, and that's why I don't watch movies at home.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people always, and I guess I'm curious. I'm like, you spent the money to come to this thing, and you're fist deep in this Tinder. Like literally, I saw a girl. I went to a movie one night, and it was a Wednesday night because I wanted to see it early, but it was called Ladies' Night, so it's me and like
Charlie's Angel?
No, it wasn't that one. I wanted to go to that one. I'm trying to think of which one it was.
Hustlers?
Yes, it was the Hustle,
Hustlers.
which was the worst movie of the year.
The Hustle or Hustlers?
The Hustle.
Oh man, I almost went to that on the girls' night.
Horrible.
Yeah, I know. I didn't
Horrible. No, Hustlers. I think Hustlers we went to early, but that one was fun because everyone in the theater had a couple drinks and they were having a good time. Yeah.
Oh my God, look at J-Lo's butt.
go. No,
Oh, Cardi B.
the Hustle is.
No, I was talking Hustlers
okay,
now.
okay.
No.
Wait,
No,
you're
the
confusing
Hustle
me now.
is Anne Hathaway and
Uh,
Rebel Wilson and
Fall
not
Down
good.
Jr.?
Yeah, Fall.
That's-
She's learning.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
Get those two in a movie called
Melissa
Fall Down.
Yeah.
Isn't there a movie from Martin? Not Martin Scorsese.
Scorsese.
Martin Sheen called Falling Down.
I have no idea.
I think it is where I don't know, maybe it's not falling down. I don't know, I'll correct it later. I don't even know what we were talking. People with phones and just being distracting.
Talking.
Like that's the thing is people will flip out a phone and if they're sitting next to me, I close that eye. So I can't see it and I'll still watch the screen, but when they're just talking to their friends, I don't know how to stop it. I mean, that button is a very good idea. I mean, example, we're talking about our experience in Irishman a lot, but there was elderly
The Hustler.
couple behind us.
Yeah, definitely older.
It's a long movie already. It's
Yeah.
a 3.5 hour
Yeah.
movie, but they talked the whole movie.
They would have intervals where they wouldn't go, and time is very skewed in that movie, so you don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
But there was times where like there was a good probably half-hour chunk where they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But then they would start. They thought it was okay to talk when they weren't talking. So like anytime there was no dialogue, they would be like, "Okay, here's what's happening next."
Oh, who's that guy on the screen right
Yeah,
there?
yeah. They didn't know that if you continue to watch the movie, you learn.
Guess what? Movies, if made correctly, will answer your questions.
Right.
And I mean, my dad is like that, but we're watching movies at home. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching at home, I'm like, whatever, I'll allow it. But yeah, very much when people are in the movie theater, I think the two biggest things are phone and then talking. And
Yeah.
I'm just again like, you paid the money to be here. You're really gonna do this, but also no one. And especially today, the two people, they did not think about us.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be like,
Or anyone
they
around
need to
them.
think about
Yeah.
me because I paid money.
but everyone in the theater, there was quite a few people.
Yeah.
They weren't the only ones talking, but they were the ones talking the most. And just think about the people around you, you know,
Yeah.
be considerate.
And that's where I think they need to have some people in the theater because, like, you can see when people are talking. They'll lean over, and these people weren't shy about it. Like, I couldn't see them, but I know when they were leaning over to each other because, like, they couldn't hear. They were old. So, like, the one would go, like,
Hey, Martha, is that fucking Robert De Niro up there?
the one would go, like, I think he's going for it. And the guy'd go, what? And then she'd be like, I think he's going to go for that. And then, like, so, like, they would repeat over and over
Yeah.
again. I did at one point. There was a pivotal scene in the movie where they were talking, and the effect was silence for a reason.
Yeah.
And they were talking, and I go, shut up.
Yeah.
And I don't think they heard me, but
Well, believe me, they did not.
yeah.
Because
But
they kept talking.
yeah. But then, like, doing things like, well, I wonder what's going to happen. Watch the goddamn movie.
Yeah.
But no, like, that's where I think you need to have someone in there or an option. I was thinking, like, even more futuristic stuff, like putting a microphone somewhere that'll pick up, like, cadences. And if you talk too much, some sort of punishment. Like, I said the less harmful one would be, like, heating your seat up to an uncomfortable level for, like, 5 minutes after you talk. So it's, like, a long time, and you're just, like, it makes your back and ass sweat. My other thought was like a shock of some kind, but that gets you into some liability. But
Yeah.
a heat one where it doesn't hurt you, less liability.
Don't tell anyone. Excuse me. Don't tell anyone about it either. It's like, what's happening? What's happening?
Why is my ass sweating?
I mean, I guess another big distraction is kids, but I haven't run into that
Yeah.
much with. I mean, I'm not going to many animated movies,
Yeah.
but again, if I'm going to one, for example, Frozen the other day, I almost feel like that comes with the territory because there was 2 or 3 kids kind of running around, and I'm like, whatever, it's their movie. I'm gonna allow it. But I will say that some theaters, for example, that Flicks Brewhouse is almost progressive in that way, where they before the theater they show a promo every single time, and they changed up depending on the season, and it's like, hey, basically don't talk. Like they'll show someone talking, and then it's like they get booted.
Kill them.
and they say the first time's a warning, the second time you're not coming back. So and there you can click a button and they come to you to, you know, serve you, but you can click a button, they'll come to you. If you don't have anything written on your slip, be like, oh, asshat over here won't shut up, and then they'll deal with it. So like that one, I think I've had the least amount of problems there.
That's
because
cool.
everyone's almost on the same page too, even though that's the most rowdy theater because there's booze, there's food, there's a lot of people walking around. That's probably the theater that I've had the almost best experience because everyone's on the same page.
A little more pricey, but it's also like you're paying for what you get.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that might be a way it goes too. But yeah, we were at the kids thing is for me it's not as much of an issue. I think the most recent one for me, if I'm thinking back to Child's Play, when I went to Child's Play this year, the new one, someone brought a kid to that, like 8-year-old kid.
Well, it has child in the movie title.
And I think they knew it was a horror movie. They just brought their kid to it. And a kid in that movie was like, oh, he's going to get him, like reacting to stuff. And it was kind of funny, actually. So, and that one was like if someone brought a kid to Irishman and they were like, oh no, he's getting shot, I would be pissed. That would annoy me. But like the Child's Play one is kind of funny.
Is it almost a thing that it's almost a genre type? Because like,
Type of movie.
there's certain movies, because when I go to like a horror film, I think we went to Happy Death Day together.
The second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
And I feel like, in a horror film, don't do it for comedic effect, but if someone is getting scared or scream, it almost adds to that experience again.
Cody had a fun one. I won't say what happened, but he had a fun one at Halloween.
Uh-oh.
But it was a good time.
Okay.
But no, the type of movie is definitely a
factor almost.
Yeah, because something like even like a Serenity, I went to that one by myself. But if there had been someone else and they were reacting like, "What the fuck is this movie?" I'd have been like, "Right?"
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm right there with you, man.
But if someone does it during Ford v Ferrari, even that though, if someone like at the end of a race would have went like, "Yeah," I'd have been like, "Yeah."
yeah.
So
see, it's all almost dependent. It's with a few genres, I feel like you can do that with.
Perfect example: Avengers. When I went to Endgame. When Captain America caught that hammer, people were like,
Spoilers.
"Whoa!"
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So
well, and that almost is another reason why I think theaters are so great, because it's an experience and feeling that you won't get anywhere else, because everyone is either crying or everyone is fucking cheering like that. Like when you said he got that hammer, I almost stood up and like was throwing my beers up in the air. Like, I was so, woohoo! But I mean, it's almost, again, it goes back to that thing where people only go a select time of the year, but it's because they're going to these main huge blockbusters because they want that feeling of all of the sound, the picture, the reclining chair, but also the community, because they know that those showings will be sold out.
Exactly.
And when you get a sold out theater, it's
a lot of fun.
It's awesome.
Depending on if people are into it.
Yeah.
Like if I went to Star is Born last year. It was sold out, but if people in that would have been like laughing at certain things. What did I go to this last week? Might even been A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. People were laughing at certain moments that I was like, this seems weird, like to laugh at, or like just kind of reacting like too much, and that annoyed me for whatever reason. Like it just, to me, like I wanted some of those moments to sit, and I think that's what the movie intended, and some people were laughing in certain moments, so I was like, that kind of hindered some of that. So but even like on top of that, I think one other thing that was leaning towards getting more people there, and I don't know, like we've had a lot of months, especially around blockbusters, where it's been record box office. Yeah. But then we've had a lot of months recently where it's been record low box office.
And it's because people are spending their money in those months,
right?
And then not other months.
But then for a while we've had the subscription stuff, so like Movie Pass and AMC and Cinemia and things like that. Yep. And I think that is something, because as more theaters, Regal has that, or Cody has his, and like I think that's a thing that'll get more people in as it becomes more popular, because you pay that one low fee per month. If if it's $20 a month, you can go to 2 movies and get
easily pay it off. For it. So, and that's another reason why I think a lot of people don't go to the movies, is because they're not, I wouldn't say educated, but they just don't know about these services. Because I currently have AMC A-List, which is 3 movies a week for the whole month, $20. Again, like you just said, 2 movies pays for itself. And I talked to someone, and they're like, you must spend a fortune going to all of these movies. And I'm like, no, I pay $20. And they're like, no, you don't. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And I think they went and signed up for it because of that. And I mean, Cinemark has that too. You said Regal, and I think it's just, if people want to go to the theaters more often, it's like, just get this service, because you're gonna save. You're gonna either break even or save a little bit if you just see 2 movies. You're gonna see 2 movies a month,
right? And there's another service that I signed up for, the pre-show I've talked about before, on the SoCo Show, where it's made by the same people who did Movie Pass, and you don't pay for it. It's not a monthly fee like it was a Kickstarter thing, but the whole thing about it is watching ads. So they have a technology that tracks your eyesight. You stare at your phone and watch ads, and you get a free ticket after like 15 to 20 minutes. That I even think, like, for these 60, 70, or 80-year-old people who are going to Ford v Ferrari and getting hammered in the morning. That's something for them. Like, that'd be hard for families, I think, because unless like a mom was like fiercely watching ads all day to get her kids
tickets to go to Frozen or something.
But maybe that alleviates the cost of 1 or 2 tickets, because you can bank up to 2 tickets per month. So maybe that alleviates that cost, and you can afford to go for a family a little bit better. But for the elderly people, I almost said senile because I was mad mad about those assholes behind us at the theater. But no, that helps them. I think that gets more of them in the theater because it's free, and if you're living off 401k, sometimes that doesn't get you.
I mean, yeah, and that's another thing, is I guess it depends on the person, because some people might value their money a little bit more and be like, I'd rather not spend it on a movie theater ticket or do this. I'd rather buy a movie at home or buy a streaming service than I mean,
not spend my money and go to terrible movies like I don't know, The Good Liar.
Yeah, you saw that. I didn't. I was gonna say Undercover Brother, but I watched that at home.
You watched
Undercover
home. You didn't
Brother.
Go anywhere.
Undercover Brother 2.
Not
a good
Blu-ray.
movie.
Go get it now.
Yeah,
on sale.
I'm not being paid to advertise, but go to it now.
You should.
Yeah, I think it's just movie theaters. They've changed within the last 10 years, and it's been that. Hell, even 5 years probably that recent.
And most of the time, I don't have a lot of issue with people talking, like and being on their phone. Mostly because I go at early times. So I don't go and I think it's mostly those not matinee, but the main show, like date night, Friday, Saturday nights, when you see a lot of this stuff happen, because like they're there for something to do.
Yeah.
Whereas they're like people who go on the Thursdays or early mornings,
They're
they
there
want to see that movie.
see the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the biggest problems, like you're saying, is going to be a Friday, Saturday, or that discount night.
So I think that's when they need to have come out of the ceiling on Friday, Saturday nights only. Is just like a blade, and you just have to have your hands on your rest, and if you move them from your armrest, down it goes.
Is that the premise of Escape Room 2 or Saw? Oh, they should do a crossover.
Yeah.
Do you think the Saw guy started off in Escape Plan, and he's like, this is just, or not an Escape Plan.
Escape Plan is Sly and Arnie, right?
Well, and then also
Batista,
they brought Batista. Who's in the third one?
Is there a third one?
Yeah, there's a third one.
I thought there was just 2.
Oh, there's 3.
I thought it was Escape Plan 2, Escape from New York.
Okay.
I don't know.
Nutty by Nature?
Yeah.
Okay, you talk, and I'm going to find Escape Plan 3.
I don't know what else to talk about. But no, the you just brought up Saw and Escape Room. I've done a Saw Escape Room before. Cody and I did one. It was awesome in Las Vegas. Oh, because me and him are huge Saw fans. We went all the time to those movies and watched them. But the Saw Escape Room in Vegas, if you ever have a chance to go, I'll talk to the camera. If you ever have a chance to go to the Saw Escape Room in Vegas, do it. It's $70, but it's worth it. What do you got there?
Okay, so Escape Plan 2 is Escape Plan 2 Hades, and they bring Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
And then the third one is called The
one.
Extractors, and they bring Curtis...
Samuel.
Is that it? No. 50 Cent. What's his Curtis?
Curtis Jackson?
Yeah, they bring him in because he's just a small role in the first couple, but he's like a main person in the third one.
Is Batista in the third one?
Yeah.
He came back for the third one?
Yeah.
Those were both straight to DVD.
Hey, man, you gotta feed the family. They're not making Guardians for a couple years.
That's true.
Is he in Suicide Squad?
No.
Okay.
I don't think
I thought him and James Gunn were
John Cena's in it. Him and James Gunn are best friends,
Yeah.
I think. But John Cena, they have John Cena. That's all you need. He's playing the Invisible Man in that one because you can't see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good casting. Very good casting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hollywood.
He's gonna be in the corner doing this.
And you're like, well, where is he? Where is he? He's top billed.
Yeah.
All right. What else should we talk about? We're rounding down to the last like 15 minutes. Let's jump over to the nonsense, I guess.
Do you got any fun questions?
Fun questions. Oh shoot, I didn't
You
really
didn't make any?
I didn't make any questions.
My solo debut on
on
movies and nonsense. I don't get any stupid questions.
I can figure some up.
Okay.
Okay. How about this? You either for
I used to do hypotheticals, hypotheticals on the podcast.
You did.
I do enjoy them a lot.
I think have I asked this one? Okay. For the next 5 years, you're given $1 million, but you have Cheeto hands.
Yeah.
Have I asked this?
No.
Would you do it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Well, that answers.
I mean that's a convenient thing. You get money and you can lick your fingers all the time,
exactly.
which I do anyway.
And people
but
are
there's
always
no
like,
cheese.
I don't know, I get orange all over the place. I couldn't wear white. Can I wash my hands? Yes, you can wash them, but 5 minutes later the Cheeto comes back. So no, for $5 million or $1 million, I'd definitely do that.
Yeah.
What's a sequel of a beloved franchise? They haven't made a sequel for it. Like, what's a sequel you would love to see?
Well, I automatically think about Kevin Smith. That's a cheat because I do love him. But
I mean, and I feel like you were gonna lean towards Mallrats.
Mallrats too, but they announced it at his. He announced it that Universal did it when I went to his show. Or doing it when I went to his show. Let me think real quick. There's a lot of. I don't know.
Good sequels, League of Extraordinary but Gentlemen 2, Van Helsing 2.
Why do you like that movie?
Oh, dude, I do. I have no idea why I love that movie. I think it was because it was on FX all the times, and FX has the movies.
God, that's a hard one. That is I want to see a direct sequel to Batman and Robin with George Clooney as Batman now.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Who's the villain?
Count him King for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Kite Man.
Squirting that mayonnaise all over town.
It's a Condiment King, Kite Man, and God, there's one other one that's like there's actually a cool one called Onomatopoeia that Kevin Smith made where he only says boom, bang, pow, like stuff like that.
Wait, that's his superpower?
Yeah, he's onomatopoeia. He does like dastardly stuff.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, that's what I want.
Okay.
I really don't want that. I can't.
Well,
think
I
of
mean,
a good
hey,
answer.
it's a good one.
But probably Mallrats too, like something, just a sequel to more Chasing Amy 2 or a Kevin Smith sequel.
Yeah, something in that almost.
There's probably
realm.
one I'm thinking of, like I'm not thinking.
I was
right
gonna say
now.
after I click stop,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, oh, why didn't I say that?
Logan Lucky too. There we go. I loved that movie, so I would
Joe
watch the
Bang.
Joe Bang. Yeah. Bang. Logan Lucky 2, Bang Harder.
Oh, too fat, too Logan, too Bang. No, that's bad. This is your weekly update that you should go see Logan Lucky or seek it out
That movie's dope.
because it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime.
That was a fun movie that no one saw.
Joe Bang.
Who is the most, or who's a famous person you met that you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have met them, or who's a famous person you've met and you're like, man, that was a really nice person. It's hard because personally I haven't met any like famous
There's
people.
no one I met where I was disappointed, but Chris Red from SNL.
That's exactly what I thought you were gonna say.
He was really nice, like super nice. He was hilarious for one.
I did it.
Yeah. And that's the thing that pissed me off is like at the time I totally like we just went up to him. It was me, Cody, and my girlfriend at the time, and we went up to him and I forgot what to say because he was like super funny. Like he was really, and I was pretty drunk, but he was super funny. Mm-hmm. And so like then I was like, okay, like we're gonna have to, because he was just at the bar by himself. No one was talking to him after the show. And so we went up to him like, oh, it's a really great set. And I should have totally been like, you were amazing in Popstar.
Oh, was this after Popstar?
Yeah. This is mid-break.
Again, that's a movie that no one saw.
Yeah. That's, you know what? Scratch my Logan Lucky.
Yes.
Popstar 2.
Popstar
That's
2.
a perfect sequel.
Still popping.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, he was like super cool and like really nice, and he wasn't ever rushing us off. He was just like, oh, thanks, man. Like, and then he took a picture, and
that's awesome.
And I totally should have been like Popstar. Like that's the best movie. And he didn't. And I regret that.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a full cast member now, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that's great. Yeah, that's because is he originally from that area?
Chicago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense that he was doing his.
It was like the 2-week break of SNL between like it was like February and like February and March. There was like a 2-week break around.
Yeah.
Or maybe March and April, like around Easter time. So it was just like a real small break. He had like no time at all, but he did a quick tour in Iowa. It's like, what the hell are you doing here?
Hey,
but it was cool.
Works out. I mean, you guys got to see him and whatnot.
The smallest comedy club, like it could fit maybe 75 people. You've been in that comedy club.
Wait, was that? That's
it was
where
that comedy club, and it was.
That's definitely not like a packed, like a big venue.
Yeah, but they've had like George Lopez in the last couple years there. They've had the Impractical Joker guys there. Like it's a decent.
I mean, I guess I'm
Carlos
curious if
Mencia.
that's like on a circuit when they're doing, their tours. They're like, okay, we're going to do Chicago, we're going to do Minneapolis. Where do we go in between? And they just hit up. What is
Penguins?
Well, yeah, I was going to say there's there, but is Dubuque big?
It's a big city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite as big as Cedar Rapids, but they just opened a comedy club recently, and they're getting people in. I think they have people lined up to come soon for it. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, comedy actually has. I mean, comedy has decent spots in Iowa to do like it. A lot of the open mics, because Cody and I used to go to open mics every week, and a lot of the people there did some shows around here, like not huge, but like they did shows, and like they were all really nice, cool people, and it's a pretty supportive community. I know Cody talks about it, like it's a very supportive community out there too. So like I like stand up a lot. It's an interesting world.
Oh yeah, from what I've heard, I mean, I'd love to sit down with Cody and kind of just like pick his brain a little bit. I mean,
that's gonna be your guys' episode when you do one.
Just be like, dude, like because when I had never seen him do stand up. I've seen him do some MC, some public speaking, obviously, but that like when we were out in Oregon 2 months ago, maybe the first time I saw him, and I was like, I was like, I'm so proud.
You're starstruck.
Like, I literally, that's kind of what it was. I was like, I was speechless almost because I'm like, I always knew he was funny and he's very charismatic and whatnot. I'm like, this is awesome, and I want that to like be a thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't be starstruck by him because I once saw him try to attack someone with a fork. So
that sounds like a very interesting story.
It really was. He was just hammered and was upset about something, and he brought a fork from home, and it was in his back pocket.
Here's another one. Okay, we both are working boring desk jobs, office, corporate world.
100%.
If you could say money's not an issue, you could do anything. What is that thing?
Right. Movies, right? Screenplays,
like
for sure.
short film,
it would
full
depend.
feature.
It would depend. I think like
TV.
I've been writing a lot lately, and like mostly between like my breaks and lunches at work. So like when I'm in between that time of I've been beaten down by the corporate system, by the man,
just getting
and I
reamed.
need to let the thoughts I have in my head out somehow. So, and that's been one interesting thing. I guess this is more of a writing tangent than like a job tangent, but like, I've been writing one thing consistently for a little bit now, and the way I write it, I can transfer it into a thing that creates it into a script template or a screenplay template. And so I didn't know how many pages I had. I just was writing. I didn't count. And so when I put it in there, I had way less pages than I thought. But the way the story was working out, I was like, oh, this would fit into a short, because a short I looked up was like 40 minutes. So that would fit a short. But I also have ideas that I think I could make into a feature.
A full feature
so
and whatnot.
I think it would just any sort of that, like screen writing or maybe even directing. I don't know how difficult direct, because I have management experience in movies. I don't know how well is that, or management experience in real world. I've done management, so how that would work in movies and transfer over, maybe well, maybe not, because I did manage people and like coached people and stuff. So maybe
deal with a lot of people's bullshit at once. It sounds like you could probably do that.
So maybe that would be something. But if money was no option, it would be something like that for sure.
When you write that stuff, do you like actually write like the dialogue in there and all that? Wow. Okay.
Because I've read a lot of scripts. So I mean, film school around here, I mean, Iowa has a decent one, but very expensive. And like for me to do that, I didn't do any creative writing classes in high school or anything.
Either,
So for me, like all my stuff was at the time in high school. And then in going into college was I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just did business. That's what,
everyone does.
Right.
Hey, you got a business, I can work there.
Because as long as you have a business degree of some kind, you can get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
It might not be a great job, you can get a job, and that's what I got. But so I've read a lot of scripts. I've done a lot of that stuff. So and then there's a lot of script templates online, and so I've been able to write with the idea of at least a screenplay when I do the stuff before it goes into the template. So I know if I took the time to write like actually I know how to format it. It just takes time without an actual format.
And I think that's probably the biggest problem with yourself writing, myself creating, Cody doing stand-up is just time. Takes a lot of time. Because you can't just hammer something out. It's like, I could do it. It's not going to be good. I want to do it, and then I want to almost go over it again and add jokes or add a little something here, a little something there. I think it's kind of funny because are you almost saying that it's like things that in school you had no attraction to are exactly what you're wanting to do now?
Yeah, and I didn't really get, like, I was into movies my last couple of years of high school, but I didn't ever think of it as something like, that's something you could do as a job, being in Iowa, like... And even still now, it's like that would be a dream of mine to do, but I don't see that necessarily as like for me, if
sustainable.
If it's a job like I can actually get into, because the chances of it's like a lottery, like that is like winning the lottery, doing something like writing a screenplay. Maybe better chances than lottery, but still pretty much lottery. For me, like if I were to move to LA tomorrow, the thing I would want to do is go, since I have the business background, is get into the movie business through business. Like doing some sort of, maybe even probably start off in administration, because that's kind of what my degree is in now. So start off in administration and work up from there. At least do something in a field that I care about. I care about movies a lot.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about health insurance, is what I'm doing now. So, so like, at least that, doing something I care about, and especially in movies, making something maybe even better in movies. And I've looked at jobs out there. Like I've seen different, there's one that's similar to kind of what I do now, but it's in, you have to track people down for copyrights in movies. If people break a copyright. So I looked at a job in that, and I was like, that'd be kind of, it would suck, because you call people and be like, hey bitch, give me my money.
Yeah, you're almost like a guy serving papers or whatever.
Right, but at least it's in movies, and that's a step somewhere. So
yeah,
I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I need to almost start diving into actually like looking for jobs, because I was just like trying to get my bearings, setting up something to get part-time cash flow and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but I guess my perspective on that is in high school, and even now, believe me, I'm not a great public speaker, but in high school, I went out for speech, and I made like the big teams or whatever of that. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm good at this, because even I got the lead role in the school musical for High School Musical. Yeah. And had no singing experience.
Yeah. I think you were talking, I think that's one on Rama's.
Okay. So basically how this worked was school musical, you can try out, do whatever. And I went in. And I went up on stage, and I think it was just because I looked like Troy Bolton at that time. But they thought my acting was fine. I sang, and I just sang Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. And it was really high. I was like, you can tell by the way I use my work. I'm a woman, man. Not time to talk. And everyone in the audience was laughing.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the casting director was like, clapped. And I was the only one person that like she stood up and clapped for. The next day,
you get the lead.
The next day, I get the lead role, and everyone in the choir was pissed.
That's amazing.
Because I had no singing experience.
You just showed up and did some stupid Bee Gees dance.
And the thing is, I laughed about it because I was like, well, I guess I have the lead role now. And then I had to go and get singing lessons.
Yeah.
I had private
Through the school?
No, it was through a teacher's wife that worked at the college.
Did you have to pay for it?
No, it was free.
Oh, okay.
So, and believe me, I have noticed that I'm very much more closer on key. I'm far from a good singer.
So let's hear the how you actually did the Bee Gees.
Oh wait, the Bee Gees.
So ready?
Okay.
You can tell by the way I use my work. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk.
It was basically like that, and it was high pitched and bad. But like I even like did a little like dance with it too, and
That's amazing.
It was awesome. But then I had to do get your head in the game.
See,
and
I
we
don't
had basketball
know any of-
like boom boom boom.
I didn't watch any High School Musical, so
It's we're all in this together. One, you know.
did you have a bunch of solos? Like, was that nervous? Were you nervous?
Oh my god, yeah, because I had no singing experience.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, everyone's like, it never happened. There's pictures of it happening. There's no video because I'm pretty sure they destroyed it all because it was so bad.
Was it really bad?
I don't know. I think it was. My mom and
She was like, it was.
we talked somehow this
This
got
is the
brought
thing.
up the other week, and I was like, she was saying something about like me doing this YouTube thing and entertainment. I was like, I can do anything I put my mind to, and I was kind of being cocky at that time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I got the lead role of a musical with no singing experience. I can do this.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I guess you're right. And
But-
and she didn't. It wasn't like you sucked.
Yeah.
But I know it was far from perfect. But
Yeah.
like for having literally no skill. I got it over people that had somewhat of a skill.
Yeah, so that's
But yeah,
something to-
I think it was once or twice a week I had to go over to the local college and do singing lessons.
I've thought about like I wonder how my voice would sound if I actually try. Like if someone would
Try.
because I can do like deep stuff like like we were talking. I have a decent. I was doing an Al Pacino and a Gary Busey impression. I kind of all right.
Okay. Do your Busey.
That's I can't do that on cue. Like I have
Okay.
to. That one's hard. Oh yeah, I can't do it. I kind of had it. Okay, no.
which is I would love to get a future episode, but we actually work on our like a handful of impressions and come back and do impressions because
do an impression
we,
off.
we talked last night that we both had like impressions over the years and
Yeah.
then they just disappeared because we didn't further them, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, musical, there was that.
That's awesome.
It was just
I never
just bullshit like that.
and we didn't have much of a drama department back in my school, but like I would have never touched that. Like I was so even still public speaking to me freaks me out, but like doing the podcast like that is something that has absolutely changed because my first job that I was at for like 6 years, soul crushing, awful, but it was phone insurance.
Yeah.
And for like 3 of those years I was on the phone all day every day talking to people, and so like that helped with talking and speaking clearly or whatever, but the podcast really helped with that.
Oh, yeah.
Like thinking about what I have to say and talking about, and now like I've kind of reverted back to not even thinking about what I'm saying and just saying it lately.
It's almost like you
But-
said, it's a skill that you work on and then it's natural.
Yeah. And it's funny too with Cody in Oregon.
Yeah.
Over the Skype, like sometimes I've noticed even in this episode I've talked over you a little bit accidentally.
Oh no,
and
it's perfectly fine.
It's because Skype, like we have a
Delay.
We'll talk, he talks. We'll talk,
Yeah.
he talks. So like having a conversation in person, and when me and him, the few times I have podcasts together where we're in person, that it's been different. It's been weird.
Well, you
so-
can see the cues, and
Yeah.
that's why I actually I love the Skype calls and stuff, but there's always a delay, and it's
Yeah.
hard because also people are way too polite.
Yeah.
If you have something, just go over it, you
Yeah.
know, and not to be like it gets to a certain extent. But yeah, I think that the whole speaking and it's helped so much, and I was when I was like 13, 14, whatever, right into high school. I was very nervous, shy. Everyone's like, oh, you've been like this forever. No, it took time because I was very nervous and shy and like basically just played video games all the time. I think I said in a previous podcast, maybe, I got tricked into going out for speech because someone called me and they're like, hey, come up to the local theater. And I was like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, that's right.
And it literally, like, our school was, because the guy that was our speech coach was someone that started speech in Iowa, so he was like damn good. He'd been doing it for like 30 years. I honestly give so much credit to him because he got me into that. Then he also started the video productions class, and I don't want to brag, but I was probably the best person because I was in it the very first semester, but then my sister was in it 3 years later, and one of the videos you had to do was in the day in the life of you.
Yeah.
And I made mine 100% comedic. It was like an interview, and it was like you say something, and then it flashes to what you did. And I was the very first person that ever did that. Everyone, every semester did it that way.
Really?
Because they saw mine, and they're like, well, I'm going to do it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that just clicked something, and I wish that, like, I had the money and I guess computer set up at that time to do my own stuff because I'd used the schools for like that next year. I came back for Christmas break the very first year at college, and literally the whole Christmas break I was at school messing with their computers, and they're like, Jared, we have a class right now. I was like, I'm just working on stuff. And same with Photoshop. I took a Photoshop class and I loved it, but I went into accounting and finance.
Right.
So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, at least you had like some sort of outlets to go to. Like, I played for almost an entire year straight. I'd come home from school every day and play Guitar Hero until dark. So Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii was the best. Oh no. So with I had a thought and I lost it. It's gone.
Come on.
No.
With the public speaking, speech, singing the Bee Gees. You got anything?
It is gone. But no, I guess with well, you actually rewinding your video production stuff. You're talking about that.
Yeah.
At least that has still paid off in this. Like you talk about like people in your class. I think it actually almost relates to now with like with you and your YouTubing is like you put in the effort and did the work and like did extra stuff to it. Same thing I think with you and your YouTubing now is like you have all the graphics and the backgrounds. And
Listen, people.
Minus this right now, we're not putting any. This is.
It's hard to do because you know how long this would take to render.
Yeah.
2 days.
No, I know. Cody did it for our 1 year.
Oh yeah,
and that was rough. But no, I mean like for the reviews and sketches and all that stuff. Like you don't see that with a lot of YouTubers. So like I think that still relates in that way for.
Well,
you.
I appreciate that, and you people out there watching and listening, realize that this is not easy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I feel like a lot of people maybe do take it for granted because I mean, I took putting a podcast together for granted. When you guys do it and the sounders and all of the shit you've done, and mind you, you've done it for
120 some episodes.
Yeah.
It's been 2.5 years basically.
Which, I mean, I was gonna say you guys started 2 months after me, a month after
started
me.
the podcast at least.
We're all on the same level, but like
because you were the reason like we started doing that stuff.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I was the reason for the teardrops in your guitar. But I'll take the first one.
No, you're more of my song.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Because I'm feeling 22 over here.
Yeah, but I don't know why you got to be so mean sometimes.
I don't know, man. I'm running out of songs. Damn it.
I don't know. Sparks fly when we're together. I know my Taylor Swift.
I got nothing. I was going to say, what, Swifty Second? Is that what we're calling this segment?
Yeah.
Swifty Second.
What was the one on the podcast?
Miles Minute.
Miles Minute.
Miles.
Teller.
I want that to come back. I'm bringing it back
Minute.
to Mile. To Milo. Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, I think that in a weird roundabout way, and that's funny because I took that class 10 plus years ago, I think, and even back then I was doing stuff. And that's the thing, some people will watch my videos and I think that they're just like, well, he's just trying too hard, and I'm like, I've been doing this for however long, and back then it was for a grade. All I had to do was follow a template and I could have gotten an A. I wanted to make it actually good.
Yeah. I can say this from experience with being in high school and college is that when people are saying someone's trying too hard, it's because you're jealous that they got a better product. Because when I was in high school and college, I was a pretty good student, but anytime I saw someone doing better than me, that would be my excuse, is they're trying too hard. So that's just people getting excuses. But going back a little bit to like thinking back to high school and like even college and if I would have told if myself now told 16-year-old Seth, you're going to do a podcast with your best friend for 2.5 years. And
have
about,
to fight through distance
and then also create sketches of you write comedy sketches and put those out and do a video of you talking about movies and the ride home from a movie, like all that stuff. I would have been like, no, I wouldn't. I would never put any of that out there, and I did. So like even that is cool, but like it. Because sometimes I get down on myself. I listen to podcasts all day, and I hear like people talk about like just be, like you've talked about, be creative and stuff like that. And for sometimes like I take the podcast for granted, or I take writing the sketches for granted.
Well, it's another thing. I think. Sorry to interrupt, but it's almost you compare yourself to other people. Is that another thing?
Yes and no.
That kind of gets me down. But then again, it's how I don't know what the resources they have. I don't know what they've been through.
Honestly,
I don't know anything.
I use the comparing to help myself like feel better, because like I hear people talking about like I wrote my first successful screenplay at age 48.
Okay.
So that I'm like, oh yeah, I have 20 years.
Well, I wouldn't put it off, but you know, I mean, you're not putting it off, but
No.
you're definitely like you're doing the stuff to get to potentially that.
But it has come to a point where like for a long time at the beginning of the year I set a goal to write a screenplay.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the parameters of that was. I have written a ton more this year, but I haven't finished anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've written a lot this year. And so like I don't give myself credit for that, because for it was like January to like March, I was writing once a week for like 3 hours. And then I just quit after a certain point. I went on a vacation or something, and when I came back I just didn't get back to it. But now, like, I always had these parameters in my head, like I have to set aside time to do this. But then I recently, the last month or so, was like, I don't have to set time aside. I can just do it 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And that has made, like, now that I'm doing that, when I hear someone on a podcast talking about, oh, just write, or, you know, being creative or whatever it is, when I write on my breaks or lunches or when I have spare time, I feel better. Like it feels good.
Yeah.
And that to me knows I'm doing something right. Like that feels good to do.
You're doing something that, like is almost like good for your soul.
Right,
or
right.
This weird roundabout.
I feel
way.
happier when I come back from my lunch or break or whatever. If I've left my break being upset, I come back more calm. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I'm curious. I got a good question for you. When you are writing stuff like that and you do potentially finish something, are you in this mindset of like you're almost anxious because you're getting to the point where it's almost done and you're going to put it out in the world? Or do you, once you put something out, you have this weird like post-creative depression type thing?
No, I haven't really put anything super like the sketches.
The sketches.
And that was a co-write with Cody.
Yeah.
I've written like one episode of a fiction podcast, like a dramatic podcast. That I finished the first episode, but we haven't done anything with it yet. Mm-hmm. So and I was planning on like 5 episodes. So like maybe once I'd finished that's something, you know. I've gotten like probably 20 minutes into something I'd see as a feature movie. Mm-hmm. I've gotten almost done. Like there's one I'm finishing up probably in the next couple of weeks that might be like I plan on maybe even trying to submit that to some like competitions and stuff.
You had mentioned that to me and I was like, dude, you got just do it.
And maybe that once I submit something, maybe that's when I feel that. I don't know. I haven't been through that yet, so I have no idea.
No, I guess I talked to Jill because she's very creative too. And when she was in architecture for the first couple years, they would do projects, and I feel like she kind of felt this way. And I've listened to podcasts too. It's like they'll spend so much time doing something, they'll create it, put it out, and then they're just like, well, what now?
But I also have because I have jumped from thing to thing to thing to thing this year, especially, and so. For me, I have a bunch of things I can go back to, or I have a list of things on my phone that I have just had ideas for that I could start, whatever it is. And like the one I'm writing now is something that I've had, like I've just continuously had more ideas, and I've had a clear vision. The other ones I've had visions of, but not a clear.
Just ideas, kind of brainstorming, write a bunch of stuff down. Once we're getting to the end of the episode, okay, for people that are like, I guess, trying to write, be creative and stuff like that, what advice would you give to them?
I mean, I still need advice myself, but
well, I mean, kind of what's your process, I guess? I mean, from what it sounds like, it's like, I think of something, write it down. I'm assuming you have a bunch of notes in your phone.
Kinda, yeah. Like I have I still need to get better about, because I am very. I used anal in the other podcast. I'm going to use it again. Very, very anal about like I'm very organized. I have to like when it comes to like stuff I'm working on at work or on my phone or whatever. I have to have stuff in certain order. So like on my Google Doc that I write my thing on right now, if I were to go enter down like 4 spaces and put something there, it'd be like, oh, come back to this later, it would like mess me up.
Oh,
so
really?
For me, I've just gone from beginning to end, and I've had the idea in my head. I actually have written notes somewhere else, but I haven't really gone back to it because I think once I write it down, it's like in there in my head. So, but I've had little ideas along the way that I forget after I'm at the end of my break and I have to go back to work. I forget about it later, and then it maybe comes back later. So I don't know. But for me, it's just, I think honestly, it's just do it. Just like what's in your head, put it out.
And it's so funny to kind of easily say, but it's just like,
yeah,
even if you're super scared of what, I guess the biggest thing is maybe not for you, not for me anymore, but what other people are going to think. Because I know that when I first started doing YouTube, people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are you doing? You know?
Right.
And I'm not going to like jump down people's throats, but it's like, like you said, you feel better when you write something. Just do what makes you happy.
The other thing too, I think.
I mean, maybe not like illegal shit, but like stuff that's legal.
Kevin Smith always says like, do what you want as long as that doesn't mean killing someone else or hurting. So like if you can't, he says if your dream is to come up here and shoot me in the head, like don't.
Maybe not.
That's not a good dream. But if your dream is to write a movie or be in porn or whatever, do that.
I like that second one.
Yeah. That's my fallback option.
I'm not gonna lie. I've always dabbled, but I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
The other thing, if it's writing specifically, that I've kind of learned recently is that write for you, not for someone else. So like, that's been an issue. Is like I'm writing for what I think someone who is making a movie would want in their script, or like to make it easier, but to make it easier to make the movie. And this most recent one that I've really enjoyed the most and like put a lot of time into and had clear thoughts of is exactly what's coming out of my head. And so I've taken away that barrier, which is hard to do because like, if you're expecting someone to read it, you want someone to read it and like it. But if they don't like what's coming out of your head, you just got to take it. Like a lot of the stupid jokes or sketches I've written or like the ideas I come with for the SoCo Show, I share with Cody. And like most of the time we're like, oh, that's funny. Let's do it. Like the Lou sketches.
Yep.
Like that's all out of my head. And like they're all, after I wrote the first few, because I was really excited / nervous for him to read the first one. And when it went over so well, I just kept going with it.
Yeah.
And so like even if you give it to someone and they say it sucks, like if it's someone you trust, they're saying it out of love, they're saying it out of wanting you to be better. So
yeah. Well, and also another thing is like it could land for one person, it could not land for another person. I mean, it's all about personal taste and stuff too.
Like I didn't love, even just relating it to movies, I didn't love Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I liked it,
and I did.
Yeah,
see, and
so.
that's guess what, people, we have different opinions, and it's okay.
Jared's gonna be dead here in a little bit because he didn't like the same movie I did. So
yeah, and I also used a GIF that wasn't from the right episode of something. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
No, it is funny, like you mentioned. It's almost like write about what you like. That's something that we had two really good speech English teachers in high school, and both of them I probably owe a lot of this to. But they always taught it was like write about what you like or something. Write what you know, write about what you like. And back then it never clicked.
Yeah.
And now when I will, like, for example, I did that Disney Plus video recently. It was educational.
Got a lot of views on it too,
and it's picking up too. I looked at it. I think it's hopefully going to get into that YouTube algorithm. But I wrote nothing. I just talked.
Yeah,
and I think that I was like, okay, there's certain things that I'm like, okay, I can do this for. So yeah, it's almost just kind of finding like what you're passionate about, and you can. I mean, you're gonna take prep work too to like write stuff like your sketches. I'm sure you didn't just go into the recording booth and be like, let's go. You had to write this stuff down. You had to script it
ideas.
out.
We have a list compiled of ideas, and I also don't want to sound like I'm some expert writer because I'm not, nowhere near it. I've never finished anything, but I think for me personally, it's what's made it easier. Is like, I think I would have been better off if I started with something less ambitious and more personal, because the one I'm writing now is a lot more personal, and it's been a lot easier to write. It feels better and it feels natural and it feels like
I feel like the ideas probably just come to you a lot quicker.
That's where a lot of people start. Like you see all these people who make movies, like especially like these more indie art house Oscar movies, like they're very personal stories, and those what they start with. Ryan Coogler makes a movie like Fruitvale Station. I've never seen that movie, but
oh man, it is
but like that's from what it's a smaller, more personal movie. Then he goes on to make a Creed and a Black Panther and stuff like that. So like that's usually where these people start, as these personal stuff. So like someone who's starting off writing, I was very against it. I was like, I don't have anything to write about. My life's not exciting. But then I thought like, okay, I have these aspects of my life I can mold into a story. So like it's not a biographical story, but there's things that happen to me I can write about.
Experiences and stuff. And I mean, hell, I've even thought of it too. And I talked 2 of them. I fucking landed a lead role in a musical with I think it's just my life. Yeah. But other people are like, what? Huh? Tell me that story. And everyone has a story to tell, I guess, is what I'm kind of getting at.
And that's probably even a personal thing. Was like, I always thought I don't have an interesting. No one wants to hear me tell my story. I don't have an interesting story, but that's kind of, I think, telling the story, my story in a way, molding it that could be interesting is making me feel a little better about it. So it's all stuff where I think it's all creative stuff. A lot of creative stuff is growing as a person too. I think like a lot of stuff you create is about where you're at in your life, or you can assign to where you're at in your life. So as you grow and get older, that stuff also not necessarily matures, but like maybe gets better, or you feel better about because you're opening up and you're changing as a person because of what you're doing. It's like therapy almost in a way. Never been in therapy, but I'm assuming
we're doing it right here. Like, rip down the banner. Guess what? It's therapy episode 1.
You take your pants off in therapy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's a happy ending. Oh wait, that's massage therapy.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. We did have there's an Asian foot massage near where I live that had some
jerks you off. What?
Had some rumors of that stuff.
Oh,
they're now closed. But it was awesome because I drove by. I drove by and went in and got a handy, but no, but
a sandy handy.
It was called Asian Moon Massage, and like the windows, big windows, had like these things that looked like raindrops coming down all the time. I was like, I want to go in there sometime. Because
but they're shut down.
Yeah, they're shut down now. Now it's a
man. We could get into a whole underground massage.
Oh, you have stories?
I don't know. One of my friends claims that there's one like right around here that does that, and I'm like, you can't advertise that on the internet without getting shut down. So we should probably just end it because I do not want to get into a massage. This is the porn.
We're actually gonna cut here and then start a new episode.
Actually, this is the new episode or a podcast called Skin Scene. Anyways, finishing up or whatnot. What final thoughts, plugs, do all the say your stuff.
Thoughts? A lot of fun. This is another good rendition. No,
I'm glad that you and Cody are now kind of like in this pod. I mean, you're more podcast than videos, but it's so easy to talk to you guys because I mean I knew Cody from not high school, but from college. And slowly getting to know him, getting to know you, I was like, you guys are exactly like the interest in everything. I mean, you guys love sports. I don't. If I can,
been dragged on.
If I can have coffee and alcohol, I'm set. That's all.
I was gonna say because when we were in Oregon, we watched football all day.
Oh, that was perfectly fine.
And we had $12 bottomless mimosas, and so that was good. And then we're going to LA in a couple weeks, and one of the days will be Sunday. And we're gonna watch football, but
I guess we can say that by the time this post, I think in 3 days we're gonna be in LA. So
we're making you go on trips with us and stuff all the time now.
I have friends now. Oh my gosh,
that's what we do. We force people to do stuff with us. So, but LA is gonna be a good time. We're going to the Schmodown movie trivia Schmodown. Elite pass. I'm so excited. I am unbelievable.
The more and more closer it gets, the more and more I'm excited, especially since you told me yesterday that our flight is not 6 a.m. it's 6 p.m. For the last month, I thought we were gonna have to wake up at 2 a.m. to get to the airport. We do not have to wake up at 2 a.m.
We do not.
So that's good.
We'll see. Depending on what the future holds, I might be on the channel a little bit more because of proximity potentially.
Yeah, that's true. Who knows? I'll get a second show going on. I know that maybe in the next week, I don't know. We could maybe sit down and do the Mandalorian episode 4 breakdown. That'd be nice.
I could definitely. Yeah. I'll be caught up for that.
Yeah, so. I mean, in the next couple weeks might get a couple of reviews together because we're gonna be traveling and whatnot.
Yeah.
But SoCo Show, where can people find that?
Yeah, any podcast platform minus SoundCloud. Now I think when we switched,
they kicked you out.
we just quit doing SoundCloud. So anywhere you get podcasts, SoCo Show. I don't know if we'll be doing anything special. Like we do the sports show we'll do that till the NFL season's up, and then we'll probably maybe get more into the sketches again. We have a scripted podcast I've been working on for a while, but we'll see if that pans out. But yeah, mostly just the podcast feed.
Yeah, I was gonna say podcast wise, I'll be on theirs next week, I believe, and then also probably I'm assuming at the end of the year we'll do our big top 10 of the year breakdown. Yep. That's always fun. That's always a very large, packed episode, just full of movies and literally just
A lot of
us
nonsense.
shooting shit. Yeah.
I think we were on Skype for like five or 6 hours.
That was a
total.
very long day.
We
yeah.
we recorded for like 2.5 hours, and then we're just bullshitting like an hour before and an hour and a half
we
after.
could have just recorded that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, guys, check out their podcast. They're doing very well. I mean, 2.5 years. How many episodes did you say?
It's like 120 something.
120.
I don't even
Wow,
know
that's
anymore. I lose
crazy.
track.
120 anything. I mean, they're getting syndicated by now.
No one's paying
Anyways,
for it.
no, thank you for watching. This is a big episode.
Action-packed.
Yeah, action-packed episode. There's a lot of. We're
I
gonna
did some
add CG
backflips.
back here. CG.
And I should probably say why I'm wearing a bird jacket.
Bird poncho.
I call it a jacket. But
Okay.
Brittany runs a marathon. I'm going to plug it because it's in my top 3 right now. But I won this from Brittany Runs a Marathon, their Twitter account. I don't know how many other people won it, but I might have a one-of-the-kind jacket. But great movie on VOD now. Check it out.
Yeah, check out. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna spoil or say where it's at right now. I'm gonna have to reevaluate. But that is the only movie I've given a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, I am pretty proud of that I do recommend some good ones to you.
Yeah. This guy is very much indie. Every indie movie that I'm
I think that
pretty
was
much
going to be
hitting
original
up.
topic.
Yeah, it was funny. We were gonna have because we recorded a Patreon episode before this, and then there's this episode. But yeah, we were gonna talk about indie films, so I guess that's gonna be a future episode.
Yeah, I'll be back. Like I said,
Yeah,
in a couple
actually,
weeks,
yeah.
so.
In the next couple weeks, we could just record another
Yeah,
one. But
I'll wear this again then.
yeah, just
like
you
that.
know what? Every time you're on, wear the same outfit.
I just hope it doesn't get destroyed because I'm gonna wear this out for
No,
sure.
you can't. You buy multiple.
If you if this posts the week of when we're in the Schmodown,
Yeah.
I'll be wearing this at the Schmodown.
Yeah.
and we are gonna be front row.
yeah,
to the Schmodown.
If you're watching this and we're also going to the Schmodown, come say hi.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we want to hang out with you guys. And then, if you don't and watch the replay or the live thing,
Yeah.
find the
I'll be wearing
Poncho
this.
Man. Find Poncho de Libre.
I'm wearing this in my Wild Berries t-shirt. So
Anyways, no, Seth, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
This was a very long episode, so
Uh-oh.
great stuff. No, hey, it's perfectly fine by
Yeah.
me. Anyways, thank
oh,
you.
thank you. Good times.